The biggest star of the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game wasn't on the court. She didn't score a point, grab a rebound, or dish a single assist. But from the sidelines in street clothes, Caitlin Clark was the unseen force behind the most radical, controversial, and talked about All-Star Game in the history of the sport. Forget who won or lost. The real story is how one player's vision, combined with a cruel twist of fate, gave us a glimpse into a wild, chaotic, and maybe even brilliant future for basketball. A future where the 4 point shot isn't just a gimmick, but the main event. And this is how Caitlin Clark changed the All Star game without even playing in it. The lead up to All Star weekend was perfect. It wasn't just a game, it was supposed to be a coordination. For the first time, the league's midseason showcase was in Indianapolis, the new epicenter of the basketball world, and it was all because of one person, Caitlin Clark, the face of the Indiana Fever, the rookie phenom shattering viewership records, was the main event. Her face was on a 34-story Nike ad downtown. The game was on her home court in front of her fans. She was leading the vote gather in WNBA history and the team captain. The entire weekend felt like it was built for her. And then disaster. Just days before the event, Clark went down with a right groin injury. A shockwave hit the league and its fans. The star of the show wouldn't be on stage. Clark, who had never missed a game to injury in college, was sidelined for the biggest showcase of her pro career so far. Immediately, the energy shifted. Ticket prices on the secondary market cratered, with one report claiming they dropped by nearly 50% in less than 24 hours. A city that was ready for its moment was left with palu- a, p- um, a palpable sense of disappointment, I should say. And the WNBA had a nightmare on its hands. How do you keep the hype alive for an All Star game that's missing its biggest All Star? As it turned out, the league's answer was already in motion. In a move that now seemed like a wild twist of fate, the WNBA had announced a series of experimental rules for the 2025 All Star game designed to create a faster, more exciting product. And it was like they brought a video to a game of life or brought a video game to life because the shot clock was shortened to 20 seconds. They introduced live hockey style substitutions. And for the first 38 minutes, free throws were going with points automatically awarded to keep the game flowing. But the biggest change, the one that seemed tailor-made for the weekend's injured star, was the brand new AT&T 4 point shot. Four circles were placed on the court 28 feet from the basket, practically begging for a player with Clark's legendary range to test them out. Now, comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Tell me I ain't wrong about that, but I'm always open to the possibility of being wrong. But it also brings me to the thought of how the NBA is set up, right? When you have like Team LeBron and Team Giannis and Copo or Team Luka Doncic, you get what I'm saying, right? It's more so guys just lobbing up threes and just being entertaining, but it not being strenuous because we know they got to get back to the regular season. And I feel like that's what the WNBA took from the NBA when it came to the WNBA All-Star weekend that taking place this weekend. That, you know what, we're going to shorten things, make it easier and less strenuous. But the question is, even during the regular season, why are you letting your this moment that was for your biggest star and the hype was there and alive, and now you gotta try to keep it alive for All-Star for All-Star that's missing his biggest for All-Star game that's missing his biggest All-Star, right? Because the hits, the NFL hits that Caitlin Clark is taking in the regular season, where is there even an accountability factor when it comes to these rules? But there's experimental rules taking place for players to not be extraneous or overexerted in the WNBA All-Star game. But can we say that need to be also a factor for your biggest all-star that was basically this was created for and the hype was alive for this all-star game to take place with the biggest all-star such as Caitlin Clark? Let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comments, right? But I understand the gist of it when it comes to this all-star concept about not overexerting the players. But you also should protect your biggest all-star, I feel as though. No favoritism, no bias, but the rules be the rules and actually hold them accountable, to hold other players accountable, and uphold them actually You know what I'm saying? WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Yes, I'm talking to her, you, if you see this video, as you should. But what I'm trying to say is the four circles that were placed was begging for a player like Keelan Clark, legendary range, to test him out. In fact, years earlier, Clark herself had tweeted in favor of a 4-point shot in the All-Star game. In a pregame chat with the other captain, Nafisa Khalil, she was even caught on a hot mic saying of the distance, it's not really even that far though. With the one player these rules seem designed for stuck on the bench, the stage was set for a bizarre experiment. Even though she couldn't play, Clark's role as captain was far from ceremonial. She was going to be on the bench and she was going to coach. In her official statement, she made it clear, saying she was looking forward to helping Sandy Bordello coach our team to a win. From the opening tip, her philosophy was obvious. And I'm going to play the audio, but I cannot show the actual footage due to copyright purposes, but you guys should go check it out on ESPN channel. During a live interview, she was asked what her message to her team was. Without hesitating, she laid out the strategy that would define the game. Let it fly, baby. Let it fly. She told the commentator she was encouraging her players to take full advantage of those new 4-point circles and not think twice about shooting from deep. But don't take it from me, family. I want you guys to actually hear the audio. I'm going to play the audio, right? And then we're going to go from there. Check it out.
Hey, guys.
So I know this is a different role for you, but what's been your focus coaching over there on the sideline for Team Clark?
I'm just all 4-point shots, 4-point shots, 4-point shots, more. We haven't made as many as them. You don't realize how fast 4-point shots are going to add up. We didn't take that into account, and they've made quite a few. Fee, McBride. So we gotta slow them down. 78 points is a lot.
They're a plus 16 in points from 4-point
Oh,
shots. So there
gosh.
you go. That's the difference on the scoreboard right now.
At what point will Coach Clark start talking defense to her squad?
Never. Come on, Rebecca. You know better than that. Offense is what's gonna get us back in it. We just gotta make a lot of 4-point shots.
Caitlin, what has this weekend been like for you as the host of the weekend here in Indianapolis?
I mean, it's been incredible. And okay, AB. It's been incredible. It's been, I think Pacer Sport and Entertainment, our organization franchise, has done a tremendous job, and I hope the fans have felt, have had as much fun as we've had, and I think all the players have felt the love from everybody. It's just been a great celebration of the W, and where it's at right now, but where it's going to continue to go. I think All-Star Weekend is going to look a lot more like this from here on out. Phoenix was great last year, but we certainly topped that, and now there's a high standard. People are going to have to reach it if they want to host, I guess, or we'll just host every year.
I love it, Caitlin. One last thing I want to ask you about. How would you describe the bond between you, Kelsey, and Aaliyah? We see the way you interact, the chemistry, obviously all together here on the same team for All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, I mean, they're just good people at the end of the day, and you're always lucky to have teammates like that because not everybody gets that. So I'm lucky they're two of my good friends, and just happy for them. And honestly, especially Kelsey, like, she's been a part of this franchise for 8 years, and from where it started, there was times in her career where we had one concession stand open. So just really happy for her and getting all this love.
Hey, a big pep talk coming at halftime for Team Clark.
No, we're gonna listen to Glorilla, maybe get a drink of Gatorade. Of Gatorade.
Of course. Thanks, Caitlin.
I'm just joking. All right, take care.
Well, family, that's the amazing thing. Look, she's smiling through it all. And this is what it's about. This is true leadership. She's smiling. She's happy for others. She's not just making it about herself. She's very humble. And she's the people's people of women's basketball. And that's why people love her. That's why the Caitlin Clark effect exists, right? Because this is a true leader. And life be life, and you still make the best out of it, right? When life give you lemons, you squeeze, right? And make lemonade, whatever that saying go. Y'all get what I'm saying. But I love to see it, man. And that's the beauty of it, man. And that's leadership. That's good character. Character is what keeps you. It doesn't matter the fame, the glory, besides all the Caitlin Clark effect that we always talk about. But this is what keeps you. Because the person you are, see, you can have all this and be a bad person, right? So This wasn't just a suggestion, it was an identity. In every huddle, the message from the sideline with Clark as a key voice was the same. They weren't just going to try the league's new toys. They were going to push them to their absolute limit. Clark's own fearless, high volume, deep range style was being imprinted on a roster of the world's best players. It was a fascinating sight. Team Clark wasn't just named after her, it was playing like her. The 4 point shot wasn't an option, it was the game plan. The result, one of the most unique and polarizing basketball games ever witnessed. From the jump, Team Clark followed their captain's advice with an almost joyful abandon. Players who normally work for a high percentage look were now happily launching shots from the 28 feet. The pace was frantic, pushed into overdrive by the 20-second shot clock, and no stoppages for free throws or scoreboard spun like a slot machine. It was pure, uncut offense, defense, which already takes a vacation during most All-Star games, like I mentioned earlier, was basically non-existent. The game morphed from basketball into a long-range shooting carnival, a showcase of offensive firepower where the only goal was to out entertain the other team. Players were laughing and having a blast, embracing the playground style of ball that the rules and Clark's strategy had created. It was less about tactical brilliance and more about pure spectacle. The 4 point shot was the star of the show, just as Clark had hoped. It was a living highlight reel. Living highlight reel. Either a basketball purist nightmare or an entertainment seeker's dream. And that's the big question, isn't it? What do you think of a 4 point shot? Is it a fun addition that makes exhibition games like this more exciting, or does it ruin the strategy of basketball? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to see where everyone lands on this. Once the final buzzer sounded, the debate was already on fire. Did we just see a brilliant evolution of basketball entertainment or a chaotic mockery of the sport? The game was instantly divisive. On one side, you have to admit the WNBA's goal of creating a memorable, fan friendly event was a huge success. The game got people talking and was packed with highlights, and it was impossible to ignore. And then on the other side, many analysts and longtime fans were turned off by the style of play. Some critics questioned the chucking nature of offense, arguing the laser focus on a 4 point shot created a game that lacked any real competitive substance. And this is the same thing that's said in the NBA, not just the WNBA, but also in the NBA. Oh, the guys or the teams are shooting too much. They're not actually competing. The criticism wasn't new with the WNBA. The debate around physicality and officiating had been a theme all season, with some commentators like ESPN's Rebecca LeBeau pointing out uncalled fouls against Clark in prior games. This, however, was a different issue. Not too much physicality, but maybe too little structure. The game became a referendum on what an all-star game should even be. And it's is its purpose to be a high-level competitive game for the best players, or is it to create the most entertaining product possible, even if you had to bend the rules to their breaking point? And that's the debate you're seeing on both sides. And the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game will be remembered for the player who never even stepped on the court. Through a strange twist of fate, Caitlin Clark's injury didn't erase her influence. It changed its form. She couldn't show off her own legendary range, so she convinced a team full of all-stars to do it for her. She became the catalyst for a grand experiment, turning the game into a laboratory for a new wild brand of basketball. She forced a conversation not just about a 4 point shot, but about the soul of the sport in the modern entertainment world. Was it a gimmick? Was it the future? Maybe it was a little bit of both. But what's undeniable is that even from the bench, Caitlin Clark was still the most influential person in the building. She took the WNBA's experimental rules and helped ignite a revolution, creating a spectacle no one will forget anytime soon. And it leaves us all with one fascinating question. Was this just a one-time All-Star fever dream? Or did we see the blueprint of basketball future drawn up by the mind of Caitlin Clark? Let me know your guys' thoughts. Love you guys. Peace.